Well, we're back. Hello, how is everyone? It's Backstage in WWE episode 19. I'm back from Florida, about to move to a different zip code. Brad's still around, and it's getting hot. It's almost summertime, and usually the summertime means uh, the road to SummerSlam, right? Because we are a wrestling podcast after all. It's always like the big summer angle, right? It used to be. I think that's going to be the focus of our conversation this morning. Brad, I missed you. How are you?
Oh, that was very nice. Yeah, I'm good. I was holding it down while you were gone.
I heard,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah, and
It could have been better, but I
yeah.
heard.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Something cool to do for the first time, and yeah. So I'm glad you're back, and I'm glad you had fun playing with Mickey Mouse.
We talked about it. Disney World is truly the happiest place on earth. I would go back in a heartbeat anytime anyone ever wanted to. I just need drugs before I fly, and I would say that on the record. No, I'm not kidding. I don't mind saying it. I am very afraid of flying, and I had to fly down by myself Tuesday morning because reasons that I can't say because anyone that I work with can listen to me. Um, I had to get Valium prescribed to me just to keep me relaxed to fly. So
Oh
early,
my God!
yeah, I needed to fly or I cannot fly at all. But you're talking to someone. I don't like heights. Number one, and you know I've driven to the Outer Banks in North Carolina so many times that driving long distances isn't a problem for me. Flying is. I don't like it, and I know you've flown so much. I'm sure it's like second nature to you, but to me, I've flown maybe like 8 times in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure you've flown 8 times in a month before, right?
That's not a lot, 8 times, but
No, yeah, like a Chicago trip, 3 Florida trips, and 2 trips to North Carolina. That's it. And one flight to New York.
and you needed Valium. Now, are you part of this opioid crisis that our president and Congress are trying to solve?
No, I'm not
Are you
crazy.
now going to be hooked on the Valium?
Oh my gosh, I got two pills. That's it, just two, literally two, one for each flight. So no, I'm not going to be one of those people.
Okay, I'm very relieved to hear that.
I have two torn. I think I have two torn shoulders. I know one is the other one. Well, I think I tore it. I take ibuprofen as needed, and that's it. I don't.
Well,
I don't. I
to
don't
be
pop
fair,
pills.
if you would discontinue furious masturbation, you probably would stop destroying your shoulder. I'm just
You know,
saying.
that or it was 15 years, actually 18 years of baseball.
Yeah, but that's boring. To say that's kind of like, come on, what do you have to show for it? But if you did it furiously masturbating, now that's a story people are interested in.
It would be no. It'd be me facing off in a competition against the cast of Riverdale.
Oh God, we are.
It's all the truth too.
Oh God, is this a wrestling podcast? Fuck it. Welcome to Backstage in everything but WWE.
No, we have to talk about wrestling. We'll have for those of you who are Riverdale fans, we're going to do a special Backstage in Riverdale episode solely on Riverdale, possibly with a surprise appearance from my girlfriend because she loves the show too. Coming soon. Yeah, she's staring at me as I said that. It's going to happen.
She's now been told, I would assume.
Yeah, she just found out right now.
Yeah.
And we're actually going through the third or the second season again, just to stay fresh when the new season comes out in the fall.
It's a smart idea.
It was her idea. I'm not taking credit for it. It's a very smart idea. And then as soon as we're done moving, we're going to get into Dynasty, which you talk about so much.
Yes.
which I'm fine with. We're really excited to start it. It came on Netflix on the 24th, yesterday. So we're pumped.
Yeah, people like to watch good TV. Who would have thought?
So speaking of good TV, we're not talking about wrestling tonight. We all know that I try to be positive. That's no lie. Now I got to be honest. The week that I was in Disney, I watched half of Raw, and that was it. That is the last wrestling that I have watched, outside of a few clips on YouTube here and there. But I have not watched Raw and SmackDown together as a unit in probably like a month and a half, which is probably the first time since I'd say I was in college, and I graduated in 2015, that I've ever missed this much wrestling, and WWE product wise, and I've been okay with it. So that leads the question. So what did I miss on Raw and SmackDown this week? I'm okay that I'm missing it, and I don't like that. I've never ever wanted to feel this way.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, so we'll try and get through this without Valium. I don't have that prescription, although I may need it soon. Kurt Angle kicked off Raw. He promised a huge announcement.
I saw this, I believe.
Yeah, well, it was a women's championship contract signing for tonight.
But we already knew that, though, right? I thought we knew that was going to happen earlier that day because they announced the Rousey-Nia Jax match at the NBC Upfront unveil in New York the day before.
Yeah, I know. But now they're going to have the contract signing, pal. Goddamn. You see that?
Okay, yeah, sure. And then I know Roman came out, and then he complained, and well, Stephanie came out too, right?
Yeah, and then a fan in the audience came out to join the party. Oh, no, that was Kevin Owens. I'm sorry.
Oh, my gosh. That's enough.
Okay.
You can't get away with those cracks while I'm here. You know, do it save it for, it's your solo next week. Save it for when I'm not here. So Kevin Owens came out, endorsed Stephanie, which was kind of weird. And, you know, he also endorsed Roman Reigns. Was he trying to put Roman over? Was that like what was going on?
Got to put Roman over strong, pal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns had a match, and I could have cared less about that. But you know, it turned into a tag match: Owens and Jinder against Roman and Rollins because people interfere, and then all of a sudden they have a tag match, and that's the formula.
Yeah.
Yeah, very predictable. Rollins pins Owens after the curb stomp for the win. Blah blah blah. Again, that took up, I think, like a good 45 minutes of the show.
Yeah, it did.
The whole ordeal, and it was, I thought, pretty boring overall.
And you see, it's okay if like a portion of the show is one thing, if the one thing is really really good. Like when they did that gauntlet that took an hour and a half, and Seth wrestled for an hour. That was done really well. And that was okay, right? I mean, but like when they do this stuff, it's not as good. So I don't understand where the logic comes from. Like they need, I don't know. Okay, anyway.
Then you had what some people are calling one of the worst segments in Raw history, in modern history at least.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Sami Zayn, Bobby Lashley, the Sisters segment.
I think we should give credit to Dave Meltzer for this one, because earlier in the week he did say that this, you know, he didn't have a good feeling about it, and by gosh, was he right? Everyone knows what happened already, so I want, you know, what are your thoughts on what happened?
This is just pretty bad, and I don't think this is the way to get Bobby Lashley over at all.
No.
This is the complete opposite direction of what they should be going. Mm-hmm. And Sami Zayn is fine in this type of role. I think he does a good job, but
he's a good talker when he's a heel. I think he's funny, right? I mean, you're the biggest Sami critic I know, and if you can like him, well, hell. He must be doing something right.
Yeah, he's a good jobber / manager. That's where I would put him. But anyway, he's good in the role he's in currently, and so that was fine, but not for Bobby Lashley. This is not the way to get Lashley over. And you can see it's not working either. Bobby Lashley needs to be kicking ass, talking about his mixed martial arts background, talking about a goal, a mission statement, returning to WWE. And if he's not there to challenge Brock Lesnar, I mean, what the hell is he there for? I mean, and I think in a lot of ways he's been exposed to, a lot of things that appeared to look better in Impact. He's come back to WWE, to the big leagues, and man, he's looking like I mean, it's a big difference. He's really been exposed in a lot of bad ways. And
well, the dude's a beast. I mean, a big guy. He's an attractive guy too. He's a nice face, nice smile. But I think what they're doing with him right now is like kind of reminiscent to what they were trying to do with Ryback when he was talking about like how he read some book called The Secret and
God, that was so bad.
Remember that? But it's kind of the same thing though. They're trying to humanize a monster.
I've got The Secret. Don't do that shit.
Yeah, and now with Big Beef Stroganoff, man, they're doing the same thing. They're humanizing a monster, and with Bobby Lashley, what they're doing with him is they're doing the same thing. I mean, for all the crap that we talk about Vince and how he loves the big guys and that's it, I think he loves them but doesn't know what to do with them anymore. You can't, as much as Brad, you like tall, big guys. I understand why people like that, but it's not the 80s and early 90s anymore. You can't bring out a big guy to the ring and just say, all right, go snarl and look like a mean person. You got to back it up too in the ring and on the microphone. Whether you have a manager or you don't. And maybe Lashley, maybe he can talk well without a script in front of him. I mean, have we thought of that? We really don't know.
Can't do that. I mean, you get in trouble when you go off script.
But no, I'm not saying he go off kilter like a big cast, but don't write him anything. Just give him bullet points and let him go do his thing. Maybe he can talk.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they have to do something different. I think a more serious approach with Lashley. I mean, the character development was needed, but the character development they're going with is just the complete wrong direction, and it's not going to work, and that's the problem.
I agree with that. I do. So I don't know what they're going to do with him. I hope they figure it out soon. I like Bobby Lashley. I like his entrance music a lot, and I think he's a domineering presence to fight with and to fight against, but it's just not working. And that segment I said on Twitter was it was a literal disaster. I never want to see anything like that again. It was really bad.
Yeah, it was. Ember Moon and Alexa Bliss. Who cares?
I like that match. That's like I think when I stopped watching Raw, I really enjoyed myself. It was fun, and the right person won, in my opinion.
Whatever.
What? You don't like Ember Moon? You don't like Alexa Bliss?
Just get good theme music.
You like it?
Ember Moon, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It reminds me of Baron Corbin's entrance music.
Yeah, he's got great entrance music.
Yes, it will never be on our podcast again.
Well, then you better not tune into next week.
All right, and this is where I stopped watching, so please take the floor. Did Roman main event, right?
No Way Jose versus Baron Corbin.
Oh, who won? Baron, right?
Baron Corbin wins with the End of Days, a short match, but a pretty good match. Of course, again, not how you should book Baron Corbin, but he won.
Isn't that what you want? Isn't that all that you want?
Well, I want him to not have 50-50 booking where No Way Jose wins and then Baron Corbin wins.
You're not going to get that wish. I'm just letting you know.
No. That's what I would like to see. The B team versus Breezango. Who cares?
I think the B team has potential, and I think it's funny. I'll say it.
Fine, it's fine.
I think they're good together.
It's a good little niche thing that they can do. It's fine.
Like 3-man band, kind of similar to that.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess.
All right, and then what?
The Raw Women's Championship contract signing.
Yeah, how'd that go?
You know, I thought it went well overall.
Okay.
It's hard to have Nia Jax booked as the big boohoo crybaby. Everybody's bullying and making fun of me. Meanwhile, she's twice the size of all the women.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, now she's the serious, I'm going to beat Ronda Rousey badass.
How did she talk? Was she good on the mic?
Well, they didn't really give her any lines. I mean, they brought Stephanie out there. Of course, Stephanie gets to put herself over.
Sure.
And also, it kind of prevents the disaster of a Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax back and forth promo.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it was smart to do that. But of course, it allows Stephanie to conveniently get herself over as well.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I liked it. I thought it was good. Ronda Rousey continues to improve in other areas, and I think she's had an excellent run so far for the appearances she's made.
Like 3?
Yeah. I mean, when you're looking at maximizing the time and what she's done, I think she's done really well. I mean, for what they've given her, I think she's picking things up quickly. I do, of course, wonder how sloppy this match will be with Nia Jax.
Yeah, will Nia have to carry her?
Well, Nia can't. I mean, her in-ring work is not very good at all.
I think it's okay. She's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, not saying much, but yeah.
I have hope it'll be good. When is the next Money in the Bank's in mid-June, right?
Yeah, I mean, I said from the beginning that she was the second best contender for Ronda, the second best big match contender. They just picked the wrong motive, the wrong time, blah blah blah, to do this match. But this could have been a big scale match. Instead, it's a giveaway, nothing, and it'll probably be some schmaz.
Well, what do we have at SummerSlam? Charlotte, Ronda, or they can't?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they'll do. I mean, I think obviously Natty's. It depends. It depends on where the direction they go. If Natty wins the Money in the Bank and Ronda wins the title, then you've got the friends and one friend going for the title. Yeah, I mean, it depends on where they go. I think it's too early for Ronda to win the title, though. But
I do too.
Whatever. So that was a highlight of the show. I thought not perfect, but who cares? I mean, it was good. And then we had Dolph Ziggler versus Chad Gable.
How was I need to go back and watch that. No spoilers. Can we do that? Can we not tell me who won? Even though I think I know who won already. Is that okay?
Do?
I think I do, yeah.
Okay. I won't tell you who won. It's not like we're, missing much.
Was it a good match? I mean,
It was fine. It was a little short compared to other matches, but
okay. So
it was fine.
It was just fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's whatever. It's time filler for Ziggler and Drew. So.
Did McIntyre, was he at ringside?
Yeah. I think he was at ringside.
Why wasn't he the one wrestling? We already know Dolph can wrestle.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah. How long did the match go?
If
he had to take a guess, like 3 minutes, 15.
Oh, longer than that, but less than 15 for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So that's that. Dana Brooke versus Liv Morgan versus Sarah Logan versus Natalya. Who cares?
Who won that?
Natalya made Sarah Logan tap. So she got to win a spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match. That's where she got her spot.
Okay.
So they continue to book Natty strong, and that's got to be to build her for a feud with Ronda eventually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, right now, I would have to say Natalya is my favorite to win Money in the Bank, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Segment
Was that Raw?
11, Elias versus Bobby Roode. Was that Raw? What?
No, I said was that the end?
No. Oh,
Good
no.
Lord.
Segment 11, pal.
Wow.
Elias versus Bobby Roode.
Good
And
match?
this is boring. It's a boring match, but the big thing is Elias wins.
Hey, 50-50 booking,
Finally,
baby.
yeah. He finally gets a win, but of course he lost. He's actually lost a lot, so who really cares? Yeah, it's just bland. Bobby Roode is bland. It's a bland feud, and Elias should be doing something more significant than this, and he's not. So, yeah. Finn Balor versus Braun Strowman.
Why would they do this? And don't give me your crap about, they want to squash the little guy when Balor's like the second most over guy they have on the roster.
Oh, no, he's not even.
Yeah, okay.
No.
All right. Well, you're wrong, but keep going. Why would they do this match? And I'm sure Braun won.
Why would they do the match? I don't know. That's a great question. I'm not sure why they would do the match. I couldn't tell you that. But Braun got to crush some fruit with his bare hands. So,
yeah.
So yeah, it's actually it was more competitive than I would have made it. I would have had Braun squash Finn for sure within less than 5 minutes, 100%.
Okay.
But it didn't go that. It was a lengthy match, back and forth to a degree. And Strowman hit 2 running power slams to get the pin.
2?
Yeah, back to back. No, he didn't kick out, but he just hit 2 in a row. And they teased even that Balor could win a couple of spots in the match. And I wasn't a fan of that.
Of course not.
Because it's just not believable whatsoever. And that was Raw. That was Raw.
Did Roman do anything the whole night?
Roman had the match in the first hour.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was forgettable.
Yeah, it's very forgettable.
Now, how about SmackDown? Did we increase our likability here?
Well, SmackDown had Miz TV with the New Day.
Oh, I'm sure that was okay.
Mm-hmm. It was, yeah. Miz actually was good. I mean, he's always good.
He is,
and was pretty funny. But Miz refers to it to Fortnite as Fort Line.
Oh God,
botch. But he recovered nicely.
Did he steal my question? Because I asked Xavier Woods if he liked public Player Unknown Battlegrounds, otherwise known as PUBG, or Fortnite. That was my question. Let the record show I asked Xavier Woods about Fortnite before anyone else did. You're welcome, everyone.
Exclusive.
Mm-hmm. Damn straight it was. No one else asked him that. Anyway.
So there were some parts that were good. Miz is always good. And the thing that was stupid about this, of course, was New Day throwing pancakes at Miz and telling him shame, 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 like this whole pop culture reference. And then Miz, he powders out of the ring, right? After they're throwing pancakes at him. Like, that's all they're doing is throwing pancakes at him. And he leaves the ring like he's been going to be beat up or something. It's just so stupid.
So he's a pansy.
Yeah. But anyway, okay. So that was that. Lana and Billie Kay, who cares?
I love Billie Kay. She's great.
She sucks.
I don't know. She had a lot of good matches in NXT.
No, she didn't. She's not good. The Iconics are not good. Yeah. Breaking news: they got a boob job and they got promoted to the main roster.
I've always been a fan. I like the other Peyton Royce more than Billie Kay, though.
Yeah, she sucks in the ring. Billie Kay sucks in the ring. She belongs in NXT if that's her ring work.
Well, she is wrestling Lana, and Lana's a dumpster, so...
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, Lana's obviously sucks in the ring, too. She shouldn't even be wrestling. Why is Lana wrestling?
Vince wants her to.
I mean, she sucks in the ring, but she's over and the fans love her. So when she comes out and wins, they she's over. She's a great package with Rusev.
Yeah.
And that's where she should be. Not every woman on the roster needs to wrestle.
Hey,
there could be a Miss Elizabeth.
The women's revolution, baby.
God.
So yeah. Lana won, though, right? Lana qualified.
Yeah, she won, and it was a very short match, and Billie Kay had a really bad spot in there where her selling of Lana's kick was so bad. Just really, really bad. Yeah, it was what it was. Almas versus a local jobber. Quick, dominating.
How's Almas and Zelina Vega look so far?
Short.
Well, everyone looks short to you. How do they actually look?
They look short. I mean, that's the problem. Look, in NXT, he was fine. On the main roster, he's going to have to grow 4 inches minimum, and he's going to have to gain 30 to 40 pounds.
Well, we all know the first one can't happen.
Well, that's not my fault, pal.
Then if Vince didn't like him, why'd he bring him up? The Hispanic crowd? Maybe.
Might have been his Mark son-in-law.
Who?
Triple H.
Uh-oh.
Look, it's fine. I mean, I think Almas is fine. He's got some upside. I just think he's, as far as when you're looking at his potential, I think his size is going to hold him back. I mean, even the jobber is was a similar size to him.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a problem when he starts facing guys. And he's on SmackDown, granted, so there are plenty of guys there who aren't big. If it was on Raw, it would be like a real, real big problem. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how that works. But yeah, I mean, I think obviously I like the gimmick, and I think Zelina Vega is a great presentation to his gimmick.
And she really doesn't wrestle that often, if ever.
No, and that's perfect for her role. I mean, that's perfect.
She wrestled Johnny Gargano's wife in NXT, but that was like a storyline driven thing.
Right.
It wasn't like a scheduled match because it was just a match. It had a purpose behind it. So I was in heavy favor of that match happening.
Yeah, that makes sense. That was fine.
Yeah.
So there's some things I like, don't get me wrong. I just think, if they're looking for that Hispanic superstar like we know they are, I just think he's much smaller than, for example, an Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Styles and Nakamura.
Was this a match?
It was a face-to-face.
That's it? Okay. What happened?
But I will have to say this was their most entertaining segment yet in the entire feud. I liked it.
All right. Now I should go back and watch it.
Nakamura says he'll reveal the stipulation of their match, of course, because he won the prior week.
Yeah, I did know that.
He says it'll be a pillow fight as a joke.
Oh. It's a joke. Whatever.
Styles and Nakamura fight it out. And then he gets the better of Styles and starts counting to 10 while Styles is on the outside floor, indicating it will be
last man standing.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Okay.
Yeah. Overall, I like the segment. And I have to say, Nakamura, his presentation, for example, in this segment is worlds better than anything they've done with him so far in the main roster. I mean, this really is his niche. Something like this is really where he's going to thrive with the main roster audience. I really like this. I think that's the direction they should keep going. And so we'll see what happens.
Okay, I'm glad to hear you say that. I'm sick of the nut punching, but, beggars can't be choosers, really.
Yeah. And the main event was Jeff Hardy versus Daniel Bryan. Money in the Bank qualifying match.
And who won?
Daniel Bryan made Jeff Hardy tap out.
Interesting.
And I guess this was the winner of the match would go on to have a Money in the Bank qualifying match. So it actually wasn't a qualifying match. This is confusing. This is stupid. The winner of the match would go on next week to face Samoa Joe in a men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Now, why would they make Jeff and Daniel Bryan be the only match to be a qualifier for the qualifier?
Just because they wanted to put the match together and they couldn't think of any other ideas. I mean, it's really stupid.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. But it was fine. I mean, the ratings were not good.
I heard lowest since Halloween of last year.
Yeah. So
Yikes.
I mean, if you're looking, if you thought Jeff Hardy versus Daniel Bryan was going to draw, you were wrong.
You're right. Now, but here's the problem I'm having. The rosters today, arguably, talent-wise, is the best maybe ever. Now Now, before you jump on me for this, I understand we have the Attitude Era. Even after that, Ruthless Aggression, they were all great. But from a talent perspective, a wrestling in-ring talent perspective, it may never have been better. So to that, I don't think it's any argument, because the wrestling in like the late 80s, early 90s was honestly pretty freaking pathetic. And even looking at Attitude Era wrestling, not that great. So what is holding them back from either creating a star, maybe they just don't have any, which could be option A, or option B, what is the problem, and why can't they capitalize on the in-ring talent and athleticism that they have right now? It's really, really bad, and I hate to be acting this way.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's the $1 million question, and I don't think it really matters at this point. They're getting the TV deals anyway, but it is puzzling because from an athletic standpoint, you can certainly say it's the best roster ever.
Yeah.
Just purely from an athletic standpoint, an in-ring match quality and athletic standpoint. I wouldn't say, overall talent, you look at some of the guys in the 80s in the NWA, WWF, and then certainly the Attitude Era in the WWF. And
that's why I said in-ring athleticism is best by far.
Yeah.
Not charisma, mic work,
right?
Star power. No.
Yeah.
But what changes? Is it okay? So is it more the writing, or is it more the person?
It's hard to say because we're not really giving them a lot of opportunities to find that out, right? You've got to let someone sink or swim to try and get over at a certain point. And
they did. Roman sunk. That experiment has to die. I don't know with what, but it has to.
Well, it's not, and it's a puzzling situation.
You're telling me. Before we get into, I think, before the TV deal, and we talk about that before we sign off this evening, let's hear. I know you miss him. I know you miss him. You miss him more than I do because I see him all the time. His name is Dean. It's a short elbow drop this week, but I feel like you would enjoy it. Here's a listen.
All right. I need to climb the top rope and drop a couple of elbows this week. Number one, I have to drop an elbow, even though she's a woman, on Stephanie McMahon. I just read that reason behind her kind of not turning on, but emasculating Kevin Owens was to keep establishing Stephanie as the dominant heel on the Raw brand as opposed to Kevin Owens. And I've never heard anything more absurd in my life. In WWE, if you want to know why your ratings struggle, that's why. And why you can't build new stars, because you're still too internally McMahon obsessed. Back up to the top rope. Whoever the hell thought that Lashley segment was going to be anything? Oh my God. worst segment perhaps in the history of WWE. You get a big flying elbow for that one. And finally, Brad Shepard. I'm just dropping this elbow on you because of the chubby you probably had when Baron Corbin beat No Way Jose. Can I remind you, it was just No Way Jose?
That's it.
God. It's a damn shame he won't be on next week.
Well, he still could. All I have to do is tell him it's going to be just him.
Oh, jeez.
And you know, it's funny. I don't listen to it. I listened to it organically with you.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was going to say that, you know. So that Stephanie McMahon thing, is that true?
You know, they want to keep her position strong, but I certainly have not heard that, you know, she's being positioned as the strongest heel over Kevin Owens or whatever. I haven't heard that at all. But I do know they want to position her strongly. That's true. But they needed her on the segment. You know, she, especially with like the Ronda and Nia thing, they just needed her because their promo contract signing would have been terrible without her. I mean, so it was smart in that regard. But
yeah,
they're positioning her. Obviously, she's one of the faces of the brand. We know that, and she's going to be positioned strongly on TV always. That's just a reality.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. You know, that's never gonna not happen. But before we go, the TV deal. I think that was the hottest news of the week. I don't know anything else that really trumps it. Going to Fox. It's the network of Fox. So that's channel. I don't know. I guess everyone's channels are different, but it's where football is on Sundays. Fox gets SmackDown Live starting in 2019. Either one. I don't remember the exact year, but it's coming. No mention of Monday Night Raw. Your initial reactions, mine were positive, and maybe meaning SmackDown could be the A show moving forward.
Well, certainly SmackDown is not going to be able to be the redheaded stepchild and shouldn't be for that kind of money that Fox would be paying.
$1 billion.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the ballpark that I've heard as well for the deal. So, yeah, it's safe to assume that range is accurate. And it's incredible, actually, when you think about how bad the TV product has been. It really shows you that ratings aren't the end-all, be-all. It's more about business partnerships and expanding globally into the marketplace and things like that, rather than just putting on a great show and getting great ratings every week. It's the game is changing in that regard. I think that was just a big takeaway from this report. It's pretty incredible, actually. But of course, the downside is, hey, if WWE is putting on a lame duck show like this, and that's the kind of money they're getting, what's the incentive?
You're
what
right.
is their incentive to put on a better show? They don't have.
You're right. Yeah. They don't have one right now because NBC, I don't think, ever wants to get rid of Raw. So why does Raw have to? And there's no competition. So why do they have to do well? What's the pressure?
Yeah, I mean, the same hardcore fans are going to watch regardless, and they have that audience, and that audience appears to be enough for Fox. So what does it really matter? I mean, they don't appear to necessarily want to write a show towards a casual audience. And so I'll be very interested to see how SmackDown evolves in particular, because they'll have that backing of Fox, which is huge. They'll have things like football on Thursday night, and they'll be able to promote SmackDown on Friday night. And so there will be a lot of momentum behind it in that regard. And again, that's about business partnerships. And so those are the key takeaways from this. And also, I would say I'm interested to find out how it will impact the network as well. Will they start putting more of the bigger matches on TV now, since it's such a huge money deal, or will they keep it on the network, which is generating a lot less revenue?
To add on to that, will guys like John Cena stay because they know they can get more exposure now on SmackDown? Does that make SmackDown the show that you want to be on?
Mm-hmm.
I think it does. More eyes. People watch the USA Network doesn't. So my girlfriend and I just had to go pick a cable package out, and we were looking at the cable packages. If we got the basic ass bitch, I felt like saying that, the basic ass cable package, USA Network is not on there. That comes as a luxury. Fox is with every freaking cable package you can get, even the basic ones that just have an antenna as an HD signal. So they're going to all those all those homes automatically, and that's huge. It is.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, this is a huge deal, and whether you like it or not, Stephanie McMahon has a big influence in all of this.
Yeah, she does. As much as we don't like her on-screen character or what she thinks is good television writing, which she's wrong about everything. Her business sense is it cannot be argued.
She's the one that has molded this, and you can call it phony or whatever you want to call it, but this sort of culture and this brand, so to speak, of WWE into this charitable, family-friendly, advertiser-friendly product, and those type of decisions have led to a big deal like this.
Yeah,
it's certainly not like they put on some great show, get huge ratings, and that led
no,
to it.
They don't. And people aren't considering the fact that they will be let in by something quality on television. They're not going to be let in by fucking reruns of Law and Order that we've seen 1,000 times. And they're not going to have Chris Lee doesn't know ass afterwards to promote. They can promote good, like, quality television items. They might even have like they don't have American Idol anymore, but like if let's say for example, SmackDown's going to be on like from 9 to 11 or from 8 to 10, from 7 to 8 could be that hot drama that's coming out, and the family could be like, oh well, it's PG, maybe let's let the kids stay up and watch because we just got done watching Survivor Brooklyn for the 30th time. It's this could. I think wrestling's on a downslope because, as many people say, there are a lot less people watching wrestling now that used to watch wrestling, and that's true. There's no debating that. Fox could bring the casual audience back, thus making WWE adapt writing-wise to that. They might not have a freaking choice, which is good.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I was talking to a source in WWE about this, and they were just kind of reiterating how wild it was to see such a drag of a show. Speaking of drag, that Bobby Lashley segment,
yeah.
But to see it translate to such huge TV contracts, and how the writing and stories just don't correlate the dollars like they used to. And it really seems to be more about things like quantity of content and consistency, which is what they provide, and, Fox can bring WWE in and have a solid rating, even if it's not spectacular by any means, but they can have that solid hardcore fan rating every single Friday, no matter what. And, that's obviously seems to be good enough for Fox. So.
Do you think this makes John Cena come back and stay on SmackDown?
I mean, I think it means Roman Reigns could be on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be very interesting because I think now they've got to have another draft before they have SmackDown move to Fox, and they've got to shuffle up the lineup again. So that should be something to watch for. That's interesting as well.
Yeah, with all and think about this, and then we'll end on this. With all of the crap that Fox did for the UFC, UFC is starting to go more towards the ESPN route, at least on a publicity level and a press level. Imagine what Fox can do for pro wrestling, which can have a universal appeal. UFC does not a universal appeal. It is a niche audience. I love the UFC. I met George St. Pierre on vacation. Fun fact. But UFC has its demons as detractors. Wrestling doesn't have to have that, which lends it to that family of four after they eat their broccoli and their chicken fingers that watches the next great sitcom, Simpsons season 87, and they're like, let's stay in the living room for some more pro wrestling. Because it's
Wait a minute, I thought Raw was the longest reigning episodic blah blah blah.
You know why it's the longest running episodic television show of all time?
Bullshit.
It is because oh god, no, they create things to sound better. And no one cares. Whatever.
Alternative facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one more thing, I had originally reported a couple of weeks ago that WWE's initial reaction to the All-In sellout was just a no-sell, and so like 9 days later, Brian Alvarez comes out and says the same thing, which was so great of him to do. But yeah, I got some more feedback on it again this week, and it was kind of along the same lines, but it was interesting. And so basically, the feedback I got from a source in WWE was again, nobody really cares at the moment, and that wasn't being said as a knock on anything the guys at All In are doing, but they said there's just too much money coming in at the moment to worry about anybody else.
Yeah,
the stock is skyrocketing, and there's just a lot of money coming in. Obviously, the Saudi Arabia deal, which I have intentionally stayed away from giving a number, but it's significantly higher than what any site is reporting.
That surprised me.
And now, obviously, you have the TV deals. So, why the fuck would they care about one-time, one-off Mark show and at All In? Why would they care about that?
It is impressive, though. I think they did a lot of good work.
Yeah, hats off to them. It's not a knock on them, but why in the hell would WWE care about that? And there was even a rumor that, they weren't cutting people because they didn't want them to get signed to wrestle on the All In show, which is, that's just bullshit.
Yeah.
Not true. They don't care. That's the bottom line. They don't care.
Yeah. I think the only time that I think they would actually care is if they started to do a 10,000 show every single week in the same cities, and it was starting to steal attendance. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, it's not going to happen.
No.
I mean, if anything, these type of TV deals and what WWE is doing with global expansion and the government deal with Saudi Arabia, blah, 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 they're creating a footprint in the entertainment industry, and it's just going to make sure that no other wrestling company could ever be on their level again.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
And if you don't like it, then Vince has two words for you. You were supposed
to words be?
You where's yes, Donald. I don't know. All right, where can we find you on Twitter if we wanted to?
At the Brad Shepard, and I don't know why you wouldn't want to. Besides, I do enjoy putting myself over every day, but other than that, I do have some interesting conversations. I enjoy talking with fellow fans about the business, and feel free to follow me at the Brad Shepard, SHEPARD, and follow all of my work at bodyslam.net and nocoastbias.com for sports stuff.
You can follow me at John Fisher TV on Twitter. I'll be writing for bodyslam.net soon. As soon as everything in the move is A-okay and all done, I'll be commenting on that in the coming weeks. So look out for all of that stuff. And is there anything you want to say to the crowd before we go?
We're very pleased to be the flagship show for bodyslam.net, and I announced this on my Twitter as well, but we've just married the two ideas. Instead of my podcast being a separate entity, John and I are just kind of joining together and making it the flagship show of bodyslam.net. So we're excited about that. Obviously, as far as those of you who listen, it means really nothing to you, but it was nice to kind of partner together so that John and I can be the new Dave and Brian.
Ooh.
Yeah. Actually, we don't want to be that. Sorry.
Aren't we the only shows on bodyslam.net, though?
No, we are not.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh, wait, no. Jersey Wrecking Crew, right? Aren't they the homies? No, they have the High Spot podcast. I don't know. You never tell me anything.
Well, our buddies at the Jersey Wrestling Podcast, I do post their content from time to time. Very cool guys, and
yes,
always willing to help them out, and vice versa.
They had me on their podcast first, you know.
Yeah, well, you're a big star. You're an Emmy-nominated. I mean, blah blah blah. You know, you're a big deal.
Mid-level market.
Mid-level. Let's face it, John. We are two highly qualified wrestling journalists / podcasters.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, we really, literally are.
I was a featured columnist for Bleacher Report when I was 18. Yes, when Bleacher Report. I know. When Bleacher Report was cool. That was a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it or not. It was cool to write there. Not anymore after I quit. Well, they said they fired me, but I quit. Maybe I'll get into it next week. And I wrote for Sportskeeda. Oh, I should stop now.
Let's.
Or not Sportskeeda. No. It was the wrong thing. I wrote for What Culture. That's not as bad.
Okay.
But either way, I hope you all have a wonderful week. And next week we're solo, or Brad is solo. I'm moving. The week after, I'll see you.